Oh, we are so back. Yo, welcome back, everybody. Kaizen Esports. We're at week number 3. We got, Element Shade and Astra going against each other. I'm Mr. Leapfrog. Commentating with me tonight, Karma. How's it going, Karma?
Doing really well, and I am very excited to see what these two teams can do in this match.
Yeah, I haven't got to see too much of Astra. I did Shade, I believe, week 1. It's been a while, so I definitely haven't gotten to see them play again. But you can see the bands already on screen. We got Zarya, get rid of her, and we got Tracer. No more having fun. It's all going to be serious business out here. All Emery, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, Emre is very, very good right now because he has, when you're close up with Emre, it can lead to like really, really good picks with Emre.
Let's see if we can make it happen. No Emery on screen, believe it or not. We're actually going to stick it out with the Sojourn. Nice to see that Astra's got, I think that's Shade. Shade's got their, 69, 97 homie on DPS. It's pretty funny, but we already see their basic approach on the high ground here, using the power position to try to establish dominance. You see Astra getting very low, not going to spot for too much longer, already going to get demected. Looks like it's going to be a quick fight in for Shade. Up the last few stragglers. That's not too bad. I don't mind, staggering yourself as long as you're contesting the objective. And it looks like the Senate finally getting over into their favor. They do lose Mango pretty late on, but not a big deal. Like I said, you just kind of regroup and get back into it. That's the benefit of running the Lucio here. You can be very fast in your fight decision making and just be quick to retaliate into the fight. You see Astra already getting demet.
Well, we had the Sombra on the point, tapping in behind, but he had to get out of there because of one of the players came back. But they get the Sombra, and
yeah, definitely got it reset here. Granted, I know it's early on in this map, but it's one of those things you gotta reset super quickly because you do not want to let your opponents get, percentage build up unnecessarily. I mean, all that time you're sitting there waiting and chokes and stuff like that. Supports really haven't gotten to be able to get into the fight. You see them finally making a commitment over to the bongo again, top right. Hopefully, this time keeping the diva in mech. Dino working on their Terror Surge. Imagine Terror Surge is gonna be the ult to use right now. 69 gets the first pick off on this fight. Azul is out of position. Make it 2. Already lighting up the kill feed, trying to make it more, and there you have it. Gonna flip it back over into their favor. Just shy of 69%, so not gonna be able to live up to Sojourn's name, but it does. I think they prefer that, right? The less percentage, the better. All right. That was great. EMP on deck for Gravel. Imagine he's scouting out targets. They can see the Genji, just trying to make sure nobody's going to flank, nobody's going to take any off angles. You got to protect your support as best you can. Oh, Gravel Light accidentally stays too deep into the fight. Jason immediately going to pop the overclock. They don't have the extra overcharge in those clocks. They're not going to be able to one-tap support, but it doesn't matter. Astra is willing to commit to the fight because they have Diva Bomb. They're willing to use it as well. No connection, but we do get the remake onto Azul. That is huge. Dino gonna tie things up in terms of kill count, but is going back and forth. Gets stuck on the wall, just like the rush. EMP being used as well. Mango getting onto the kill feed, lighting up the supports on the end of Shade. So that was a real costly fight, but look at they wind up winning. They wind up. They should be able to take the lead as well. Regroup here once again. Again, now the lead going in favor of Astra. This is a great start for their for this first map here. However, you have to worry about this blade. They do have Kitsune as well to pair up with it. Looks like they're gonna do it. The blade incoming. Are we gonna be able to find anybody? They do find 69 and Easton. Now they should be able to flip it back over into their favor. And they're gonna get the one. There you go. 1v1. We light those up. Astro staggered the baby. No, now it's going to get rid of him right away. And now, lead back in favor of Shade. Can they be able to close out the... Can they actually close out this first map? first point, mind you. And also the point. You have speed boost, so it does help quite a bit. Astro finds a way onto the point, but can they survive is the question. Sharp getting dangerously low. Easton falls, so now it's a matter of just getting rid of the other Lucio, making a no Lucio fight for this potential last opportunity for Astro to turn it back around. Get rid of Dino. Astro has bomb as well, and I think they're going to try to wind up saving it. This is a huge turnaround for them. 81%. It's not quite over for them. No, but they actually might be able to turn things around. Azul lighting up the kill pick at 2 at the last minute. Jay also in a great position to help Azul cleave down targets. Overclock in hand. Azul gotta be really careful getting dangerously low. Easton has to touch in desperation. Astro back on the foot of the ball. Dino on the deuces. Jay, no connection quite yet, but it doesn't matter when Dino's helping cleave down the team. Sharp able to get the last minute beat. Mango very close to the Kitsune rush, but are they going to have an opportunity to use it? They use it, but off point. All the while, Astro twirling, just trying their best to stay alive, being elusive, being evasive. Easton falls without being able to use the beat, and now it's just a matter of cleaning up the last 2 targets and securing point number 1. Okay, ELMT comes out. It's going to be a crazy turnaround. They can clutch this up, but Astro's just trying their best to survive, just dangling on the point. 69 gets back, Azul popping the blade. They do cleave the last bit down, and point 1 going in favor of Shade. It got pretty dicey towards the end there, huh, Karma?
It really did. That was a really, really good, awesome team fight that we just saw from both teams. It all came down just who got the better positioning and who got the better play, but all in all, it was a really, really, really cool team fight to watch.
We were kind of like a deer in headlights. There's so much going on. The picks are trading back and forth. And honestly, it looked like he was about to go in favor of Astra towards the end. But, however, you know, thankfully they started to balance it out towards the end there. Just like the audio. Audio. I love saying that. But it's all right. Like I said, if you're an Astra fan, do not fear. I think that was a very close first point. I think they can easily turn things around here in the second half. And Gravelite, giving up on the Sombra, going to the way of the Echo. And 69 again, starting off the fight with a pick. I like to see it. All right, so they get that first pick, and they're willing to just sit back. I appreciate them not willing to overextend, not overcommit. The point unlocks, but they still want to go into this fight, despite being a man down. Kind of risky, especially the way the Astros have been playing. He's been playing very evasive. Already got both of his perks. Oh, Dino falling to 1 HP, and they don't have Suzu to keep him alive. Gravelette able to stick as many false bombs on him. Oh, and he's rocking the Shanghai Dragons Echo skin. I see you. Not many people know ball. It's all right. Sharp knows the way of the blade, trying to get some hits for themselves, but alas. Gonna go in favor of Astra once again. This is a great start here if you're an Astra fan. Element deciding, you know, let's try to go something a little bit more defensive, going for the Diva pick to match it up. They're gonna take the side towards the train. Soldier getting isolated, but luckily they have their team to support them. You see Astro getting very low, has to get to the point kind of late. Hopefully they don't give up the point here altogether. I mean, one little tick away from almost C9 the point into their favor. And you see Astro getting really low, but Jaybird isolating 6-9, and they demech Diva finally, and they flip the point back over to their favor at 55%. This is a good turnaround. I like the positioning. They decided to go towards the side along the train tracks, but and you can see, you know, thanks to the overextension from Astro, made things a little bit easier to kind of isolate a target and cleave him down, but got to be a little more aware, especially when you have Lucio. Got to be quick on your repositions. You see Jaybird locked and loaded with the overclock. Oh boy, but not gonna even get an opportunity. Immediately getting beamed down, but Azul, what? 3 picks from Azul, and they're still willing to commit to the duplicate. They got double Divas on the field. Good luck killing any of these Divas. They do a pretty good job though. Gravelette getting really low right there, able to build up to the Diva bomb. And gonna catch Sharp out of position. Diva Bomb on site for both of them. Astro popping theirs as well, just to be able to remech. Azul getting really low, gonna get stuck by all the pulse bombs. Suzu comes out in the nick of time. They pop the blade as well. And it's going back and forth still. The point flips over in favor of Astra, but oh my goodness, that was such a late beat. Chart thinks it's winnable. Mango pops Kitsune Rush as well. Chart getting forced out of position thanks to the Diva. Astro is doing God's work right now, just cleaving everybody down. And despite the team falling, it looks like they'll be able to flip it back into their favor. We're gonna have to see if they can actually get dispose of the Baby Diva though. They do get rid of the Baby Diva, they do flip it back in their favor, but not before 69 does a fadeaway James Harden shot to cleave down the last target. And at 90%, they're really happy because now it's just a one team fight win to be able to secure that point in their favor and tie things up. Karma, what do you think they should do here to try to secure and lock down this first map?
I feel like they should, as we gotta pause, but what I feel like they should do is, they should, like, go in and, like, play as a team more instead of just having, like, Fallout just, like, rushing in, kind of, and more, like, going off from the side. They just need to focus as a team, because if they go as a team, they can actually get picks off and then actually play for point and then get the point, in my opinion.
Good call. Yeah. I think diving together and coordinating targets are definitely going to be the go-to move, I think, going forward, because I think them trying to isolate targets is going to be difficult for them, especially with the amount of util that they have at their disposal. They've got the Suzu, they've got plenty of defense matrix to mitigate all that damage. They also even have Reflect to kind of, you know, if they really need a last hint of desperation to kind of keep their team alive, they can try to Reflect and keep their team up and running. However, again, I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. I think dive is going to be kind of the sole focus in this matchup. Jay and 69 have been doing great when in terms of their railgun accuracy. So if they can get an early, bit of damage, it can make things a little bit easier for the Divas and Lucios to kind of cleave down the last bit of damage for them. So hopefully we can see that going forward, especially on defense. Like when you hold the objective, it's it's imperative to actually, focus down targets as a team. So hopefully they can do that here. I mean, they're already at 67%. Don't say the number, Solaire. I'm begging you. But they're in a really good spot. So I do not worry for them in the slightest. However, again, we're at 90% on the side of Astra. So all they need, one team fight win, and we're going to a final point. Oh my goodness. Paint is coming up. All right. Incredible work from Solaire. You guys didn't see it. I saw it. It was some beautiful artwork at hand. Oh gosh, here it comes. Yeah. And the chat's leaving it up too. That's awesome. I know they'll never believe me. They never do. It's like I'm talking to the void. It's like I'm making stuff up. If you guys haven't heard me commentate Tekken, it's even worse because I'll try to make a reference and I'll either get called a crazy person or they'll just dispose of me altogether and just be like, yeah, just don't even listen to this guy. What about you, Karma? Is this the first game you're casting? Is Overwatch, or do you have other titles under your repertoire?
This is the first ever casting I've ever done for a video game.
Nice. You know what? Overwatch was my first game as well, so I'm in the same boat as you. I've started branching out, doing other games. You guys don't know, I'm doing a collegiate event this weekend, so that'll be a lot of fun. First time doing an event in Texas for Overwatch. I've done a few events. I did one in Minnesota a while back. I think it was like a Midwest Madness, was it called? So this weekend we got I think it's like March Madness or something. I try to make it a basketball reference, I think, but I don't know basketball. I know like 3 players. I know like James Harden, LeBron James, and like Kobe. And Michael Jordan. Right? The crying face emoji. Iconic memes.
What
Just trying
about
to
Steph
keep you guys
Curry?
entertained. Oh yeah, Steph Curry. I forgot. I got to meet him in person when I was working at the. I used to live in the Bay Area, and we did this charity fundraiser when I was working at the bowling alley, and I got to meet Steph Curry. Comparing him on like when I see him playing, he looks short, but then when you meet him in real life, he's still like 6 foot something. So I'm like, wow, it's crazy tall. Oh, I'm in Houston, H-Town, baby. Yeah, the event in Texas though, the collegiate event is going to be in Lake Jackson. I've never been to it, never heard of it, but they threw me that contract and I was like, let's go, let's do it. It's only an hour and a half drive from Houston, so not too bad. But I think we got a ready check, so you're no longer have to hear me yabbering. I know Karma's tired of hearing me talk. Ain't that right, Karma?
Honestly, no. I'm just listening. Honestly, I am just like, I'm actually listening.
My man, all right, I like it. I don't know. Okay, Godly, whatever. At least I ain't in Dallas. Dallas people are gross.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna be
DFW.
starting the match again.
All right. Getting back into it here again. At a certain number percentage. All right, 68%. Locked and loaded for Shade. Trying to close out map number 1. Lock back in, folks, like me. I'm locked in. Are these guys locked in, though? Let's find out. Oop, phone's not on vibrate. It will be now. And again, you see 6ix9ine already starting off like really hot, really early railgun, putting people super low. Sharp falling 1 HP. And they don't have beat to stay alive. Azul getting the pick onto Easton. Mensa falling. Mango versus Mensa. Name a better duo than that. Astro putting bomb on point. They demech D.Va as well. That is huge for their team, and they're going to be able to capitalize on it immediately. Baby D.Va falling alone in the corner. Azul trying to tie things up. I don't think they can do a one army versus everybody. Not going to happen. Mensa falls super low. They have Kitsune Rush they can put onto point, and they do. But now it's just a matter of can they survive long enough for their tank to get back. Jaybird swapping over to the on-run just to help contest as long as they can. It might be futile. Desperation even. Yeah, and with overclock on the site, 6ix9ine was ready to blow everybody up. Turn you into a dolphin, put a hole on top of your head. And just like that, we are going to a final point here on map number 1.
For me, it looked like what was the team? It was Astra. Yeah, Astra. Looked like they kind of C9'd a little bit at the point because both of them, like both supports, got like off the point, and then when they were trying to run back, they already missed the point and it was already in the favor of Shade.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like, they could have touched it, but it still wouldn't have made too much of a difference anyways, just because their tank was already disposed of, so, I mean, of course, never know at that point, hindsight. We've seen crazier things. I mean, that first point definitely was one of those situations where, like, if they didn't touch, they wouldn't have even had an opportunity to be able to give Azul that playground to work with it. And you can see, again, Azul being a thorn in their side. Dino getting the assist, going back over to the Orisa, so not going to play the D.Va anymore. I think the Orisa was definitely giving him a lot more breathing room with being able to output so much damage. Point in case, Azul cleaving everybody down. That's my favorite word of the night, cleaving, for sure. Yeah, Dino pooping everybody off the map. Spear in hand, doesn't matter if you can fly. I'm going to rip those wings right off. Like a mosquito, we're swatting it down. And point going in favor of Shade. Again, can they isolate targets though? You see their team making a split here. Easton nowhere near his team. But it doesn't matter. They're still going to be able to actually excavate, get onto the point, and they're going to be able to chop down Chart. Ooh, and 6ix9ine gets a pick as well, so now they don't have to worry about what the kind of 180 was that? That was crazy. It's not going to matter, the Dino falls, but he does have the Terra Surge lined up. You don't use it as like it's not like one of those tools you use to like keep yourself alive. Even with the perk that gives you extra HP when you're Terra Surging, it's not enough if you get kind of low. So can't use it like you were doing with D.Va, so it has to be like an initiating fight. So I'd like to see him try to pick a target that they can kind of rip back into the center with the Terra Surge and blow them up. Astro being really aggressive because they know they're going to have Diva Bomb, but it looks like they're going to be able to fly back to their team. But now, I mean, that's the thing. You kind of put yourself in a bad spot. The team has to go peel for you. How much damage you're being able to mitigate. Going for the high ground instead. Wants to get rid of 6-9, and they do finally get rid of the Sojourn. They boot the Diva Bomb back. Hopefully those walls stay up in time, and they do. They're able to get away in time. Mango falls on the Genji. Get rid of them out of their sight. Kitsune Rush on point. EMP in hand for Gravelet. Interesting, they swapped back over to the Sombra. Wasn't finding too much success on that first point, so they went to the Echo for point 2. They were able to tie things up. Yeah, look at the damage they can output. You hack that single tank, single target, chop them down. Just shy of tying things up, but they're still back and forth. I think that's going to be super important. If they can get rid of 6-9, 6-7, or 6-9, damn it, 6-9-9-7, that'll be a great opportunity for their team to be able to open things up. I think that's what they're really struggling with. EMP in hand, they get 4, and Sharp not going to be able to use the beat. Was hacked out of it. Luckily didn't get Ajax, so they can regroup with it. Mango, a really aggressive Kitsune Rush, warrants a quick team fight win. And the stagger onto Azul. This is huge for their team because now they're not going to be able to sit there and wait for their Genji to get back in time. They're going to have to make a move, and they're going to have to start making their way to the objective because 87% in counting spells a desperation touch at most. Neat coming out from Sharp. Blade coming from Azul. Easton immediately retaliates with the beat, and you know what? You don't need a swing. You got the job done. Sharp falls. And now, can they be able to turn this around? Can they clutch it up? Dino does have Terra Surge still. Jaybird as well with the overclock. And Azul falling super low, not going to be able to escape for too much longer. It's just going to pop Kitsune or the Terra Surge to be able to kind of pull people back in away from their Jaybird DPS. Diva Bomb finds Dino. Dang it. But yeah, now it's just going to be a matter of cleaning up the last few targets. Most support's still alive. Just when I say that, Mensa falls. Sharp maybe not too far behind him, but Jaybird equalizes it, making it a Lucio-only battlefield. Nothing but green pastures for the side of Astra as they take map number 1.
Yeah, that was a really good defense from Astra, trying to defend a point so so Shade wouldn't get onto the point. With the Orisa, when it was like coming down to the end, the Orisa went straight for the Diva Bomb instead of going around, like thinking back to go behind a wall so she wouldn't get Diva Bombed.
Smart. Yeah, very, very dominant start here for Astra. I mean, despite the scoreline going in favor of, like a very close game, I think Astra's had a pretty good control. I mean, you want to talk about, all the game plans that they got to do that Karma had brought up. I feel like Astra's been doing that to a T, which is going to be important going forward. Because, I mean, despite whatever map comes up, I feel like, coordination is going to be the paramount of these matches.
Yeah, either way, we're going to have a really good couple more matches on our hands. The rate this is going.
Of course, I'm excited to see the series. It's been a while since I've been on Kaizen. I got a fully stacked Overwatch week ahead of me. We got tonight with these teams. Tomorrow I got some Tekken again, back in my home field. But Thursday I'll be doing some Spawn Point Championship Series, another great league if you guys haven't heard of them. Again, also happy. They kind of surprised me. They kind of came out of nowhere. Really nice quality stuff. Not as cool as Solaire's, but it's whatever. I gotta glaze Solaire up a bit. Yeah, if you guys are interested in learning how to cast or want to produce, make sure you guys join the Discord and make sure you guys fill out the prerequisite form that WM had cooked up for y'all. And even with no experience, you guys, we'd be more than willing to work with you and help teach you the ropes. I've never, I went from never casting before to commentating full time, all thanks to Overwatch. So anything's possible. So even if you're just a little bit interested, just join the Discord. Let us know. Always looking for nice, helpful hands. Like look at Karma, for example. This is his first game. He's doing great.
I get. I'll
You're
freaking
welcome,
take the
man.
compliment.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Oh wow, he's so Sombra on controller, huh? That's crazy work. But yeah, map number 2 coming up immediately after this. I can imagine they're gonna probably lean more towards an objective-based game mode. Because again, I feel like they've been doing really good in terms of team coordination, but definitely want to favor some more objective-based game modes. So I can imagine maybe a hybrid or even escort. If I'm being completely honest, if Shade wants to run the Orisa the entire time, I think I'd probably go something like Shambali or King's Row, even Scrim's Row, as we all like to know it. But what map are you thinking, Karma?
Um. Hmm. Probably. Oh, I just gotta pull it up real quick. I don't know the map.
It's all good. Yeah, it gets confusing for me because there's so many leagues and stuff. These guys are doing amazing for keeping track of all this stuff. So that's
It
why.
might. Oh,
What you thinking? No, you good.
oh, oh. They'll probably go Rialto, since it's more of the.
Ah,
I think Rialto is more of a defensive or offensive type map. If one of the sides gets like really good on both defensive and then offensive, then they'll go for it. But it
uh,
comes down to which team on the map has like the
ah.
better way to play.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Oh yeah, I've just been informed Kings Row is not in the map pool, so that makes sense why we're not going to see
Yes,
Scrims
sadly.
Row. My bad. My bad.
It
Again,
wasn't last one, but
I got like 20 leagues I'm in, so I got to keep track of the map pools individually. It's been a while. I think I was looking at the whatchamacallit. I was looking at the Annihilation one because me and Solaire we get to work together a lot across multiple leagues. I mean, we met in the IOWL, the International Overwatch League server originally, and then we started to branch out, so to speak. Keep learning more and more places, and thankfully we've been able to continue working together across multiple organizations, including Kaizen, when you guys are here now. We're putting predictions up right now, so you guys can bet your points away. Good job to whoever predicted the Astros winning map number 1. You'll get a bulk of the points. Let's see who's going to win map number 2. Predictions are up, so gamble your points away. And we're getting the bands loaded up right now. Reading through the ticket, I'm assuming they're going to try to ban Emery. Because, again, we didn't see a whole lot. We didn't see any Emery that first map. And I feel like Emery is one of those characters that's been kind of plaguing a lot of the ranked play a lot. Have you been seeing a lot of Emery and ranked, Karma?
yeah, I've been seeing so much Emre and comp. It's just been Emre, 24/7. Even I play Emre as well, but
You know what the
that's
trick
when I'm on
is?
DPS.
Yeah, you know what the trick is? You just got to ban Emery every game, and then you don't have to deal with it. We get to the point where we ban Emery so much that we just get the no ban symbol all the time. And we get Domina and then blank, and I'm just like, dang it! I put Soldier as third, but it's all right. I'll as long as they know I'm sending a message that I do not want to see an Emery in my games, and apparently neither do these teams.
But when I play comp, all I see is a Domina, Zombra, and Jetpack Catman.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Cat? I think for a lot of people, just very polarizing with being not like I wouldn't say super strong, but just very different from your traditional Overwatch play style. So it definitely turns a lot of people off. Shout outs to Steam servers going down on Tuesdays, but we are so back. Look at that. I just blame Gabe for half a second, and then we get back in. All right. But the next map actually selected is going to be Suravasa. Okay. And it looks like we're getting the first few bans in as well. And it's going to go in favor of banning the Sojourn to start. Now, what's the second ban you thinking, Karma?
I'll probably have to say, from what I saw like the Diva or like the Orisa slash Lucio. From what I saw, personally, could be either one of those three.
That's what I'm expecting.
We got a Kiriko ban.
Okay, you know what? I like this ban because in my mind, yeah, this is Leapfrog. What up? What up, Lucian? In my mind, the only thing Genji was really struggling with when once they commit to the dive, they were doing great. They get those picks and everything. The only thing they have to deal with is that pesky Suzu. So now you take that out of the equation. Now your dives can be a little bit more fruitful. You get those dash resets. You can get back in safely into those committal fights and really do some damage. So they're going to have a really tough time going into this next map with no Kiriko. But, teams got to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more versatile in what they want to counteract with. And especially with, Survasa being as big of a map as it is, we're gonna see some crazy support lineups, I feel like. But here we go. Just getting the ready checks for the team. Make sure no swaps, some last minute subs. But I feel like the teams are getting ready to go in. And again, thankfully there's no Lucio ban here because I will say I think on pretty much every single control map or flashpoint map, you got to have a Lucio because otherwise Lucio gets a little the map slows down drastically without a Lucio.
Yeah, I feel like Lucio speeds up more. He really helps the people come back from spawn really easily because sometimes spawn points could be far away or closer. So having a Lucio come back from whatever he's doing and come back to spawn to get the like a taxi is really good.
Of course, and I think that's where Jetpack Cat can sometimes Jetpack Cat can sometimes come into play. Where the maps being as big as it is, spawn points being so far away, you don't have to worry about leaving your son at the gas station. You can just dash in, grab him, pick him up, go straight back to the point, right back into the fight. It really opens up the atmosphere, the playability of certain maps. Like for example, what's a good one? Like Gibraltar, for example. I mean, that high ground kind of sought after, kind of hard to get to without the assistance of some mobility. So like Winston's really dominate on that map, and of course Diva. But now that space, Jetpack has been introduced into the game, makes those a lot less agile tanks more viable. So now Reinhardt can just jump up to the high ground with the best of them. Same thing with Sigma. Always been a struggle, despite being able to defy gravity. Gravity being his worst enemy. Yep.
Okay.
Got Shade. Yep, and they got one Shade substitute coming in. Substitute in favor of Solaire. She likes to spell substitute with a D, but it's whatever.
Okay.
All right. And then once we get those swaps in, we should be ready to start. So strap in, folks, because we got a Survasa coming up from map number 2. No Sojourn and no Kiri. This is an interesting one. I see why they're swapping Jaybird out. Jaybird was kind of a menace on the Sojourn, but now that out of the picture, imagine they want to pull somebody in that has a little bit more flexibility in terms of like what their main shall be. Not sure what they could play. They could play all sorts of things. This Survasa is one of those maps that you can kind of play all sorts of DPS, whether that be like the Emery, the Vendetta, hell, Symmetra's I've been seeing a lot more playtime on. I've been dabbling a little bit more in the Pharah realm. It's been a lot of fun for me, especially when you get that Mercy pocket. Once you get Solaire on that Mercy, forget about it. Them grannies are going bye-bye. We got a
Alright,
ready
here we
check
go.
from both teams, so we are going to load into map number 2. No more Mr. Yapfrog. Let's go. Against Saravasa, one of the maps of all time. I seriously love this map, though. This is definitely one of my favorites. I love the game mode. I think the game mode's very interactive, keeps things interesting, keeps things, you know, I keep want to say active. There's so much to do in this game mode. I mean, you're always doing something. Whether you're trying to fight for positioning, you're trying to get back into, you know, get back onto the objective itself. Always feels like you're playing the game. And if you're playing Overwatch, you know you're having a good time. All right. What is that a meatball?
5, 4, 3, 2,
It's a meatball.
initial flashpoint. Mark it.
It's a tofu sandwich, according to Solaire. So, shout outs to all my folks that like tofu with a single jalapeno on top. Crazy word. But all right, but Dino coming in with the JQ, and of course, we were talking about it for a long time here, Karma and Truth coming out to start with the M-Ray.
Oh, the Emre gets eliminated by the Cassidy. Already first pick on the way.
Yeah, 6'9", chopping him down. No Soldier, no problem. Still gonna be able to help chop down targets. Astro helping dive as well. Gravelette back onto the Echo. And again, I was talking about, you know, a lot of FAR being played lately. Echo as well has been seeing some more play time. And they haven't really changed much about the characters. You know, a couple perks change here and there, but it's still one of those things that it's just power creep. She's always been one of those characters that's been always solid, but not, you know, A tier, not top tier. But I think over time, you know, with the amount of new characters they add into the mix, makes things stronger or weaker. But no more glazing about the Echo. Echo's dead. D-E-D, dead. Alright, speed ring into the fight. Unfortunately missing the doorway, so not going to be able to get Dino onto the speed ring, but it doesn't matter. Astro chops you down, speed boost or not. Astra does get cleaved with Gracie. Not going to be able to get Immort up in time, but Gravelette and 6'9" have been doing crazy work, getting picks after picks. No tank required. Astro falls, but guess what? We still got DPS alive, baby. And with no damage mitigation to slow things down, you know what? It's going to be an easy point number 1 in favor of Astra. Yeah, not going to be able to contest. Interesting that no Lucio comes out from Sharp. Sharp's going to go to the way of the Brig. Wants to be a little bit more focused on survivability, maybe to kind of keep Mensa alive as well. And Azul not playing their traditional Genji, but instead opting for the Venture. Still kind of similar play styles. You'd be very committal with the character, especially with the JQ as well. You're not really worried about surviving matches. You're more or less just trying to, you know, kill the opponents as quickly as possible before anything happens. And Duplicate does come out. They accidentally get the Juno behind them, but they still should be able to build up to an orbital ray in time. You always got to get that perk that gives you the extra 50% ult charge. 69 getting the pick as well. Orbital ray on point, and with 69 telling you what time it is, it's high noon, baby. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up the last bit of fights. They get 14% in favor of this point. But again, all they had to use there was a high noon and the Echo Duplicate. So not a very costly fight win.
Yeah, having the Cassidy on the point actually really helped getting the point for Astra.
Yeah, it makes things really easy when you can kind of zone off the entire objective, right? Oh, Dino popping, Rampage into the backline, and with no Kiriko to cleanse any of this, all that damage going to wind up being permanent. Yeah, that's going to be an easy fight win for them. Gravelette does get one for the road, but that's all you shall take. Get the one measly chip. The whole bag goes in favor of Shade. Again, I'm really surprised I'm not seeing a Lucio on the side of Shade. considering how big this map is, I feel like Lucio really dominates here. But, I mean, I guess you have the orbital ring, still essentially the same thing, can get your team into fights pretty quickly. And Tracer coming out from Gravelette, no more Echo. Beat comes out super early. Truth popping Emery's ult. Are they going to be able to isolate a target? Easton getting caught out of position, as well as the Venture Tectonic Shock. 2 DPS ults is all we need on either side. 2 DPS ults is enough to be able to secure the point. And with how fast this objective ticks, yeah, they're going to stagger the Baby Diva as well. 85% ticks really quickly, and that's going to be the second point going in favor of Astra this time instead. They call for the pause, but guess what? That's still a point win for them. They don't call for a pause. My man 6ix9ine just disconnects entirely.
Yeah, I'm happy that paused automatically because I wasn't even paying attention whatsoever. So I'm happy that paused automatically.
It's all good. Thankfully, they just recently made the changes. You know, they've been cooking up a little bit in the custom game modes a bit. You know, shout outs to the Overwatch devs. They brought back the colors not changing when you're tabbing between teams. That was really frustrating for like a couple weeks. And then they also made it so that you keep your percentages when you reconnect. Helicopter. Is that still a thing? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Vendetta does have that really loud helicopter bug. But it's all
She
right.
does?
You know, we take the little things. It's a start.
Actually, never knew that Vendetta has a helicopter bug.
We don't see it too often because we're on console, Karma.
Ah.
Console players rejoice! But yeah, shout outs to all my fellow console players. We're beginning to get retired out, Karma. I feel like a lot more people have been leaning towards the way of the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of people going into keyboard and mouse, but I made a mistake of playing keyboard and mouse when my controller broke, and now my profile's bugged beyond belief. My wins
Oh,
are
yeah.
not, my wins are not counting anymore. I get
Yeah,
my
that-
ranks, but
You get the ranks, but then when you take screenshots at the beginning of the season, forget about it. That's a whole rigmarole of trying to get people, trying to get screenshots for the start of the season, and it's just like, sorry, I gotta prove to you, I got my required wins, my
Yeah.
dedicated Lamborghini. My bad, that was a deep pool. Shout out to me know that one. This is the frown. Goodness gracious. The amount of gifts I'm like being flashbanged with right now is incomprehensible.
I love how I was talking to just a random mic. My mic was muted when I was trying to talk. I love it here. But yeah, well, we have the player 6ix9ine back, so we are ready to start again.
All right, let's get back into it. Get a ready check from both the teams, and we can start right back up. It looks like they're ready to go. But yeah, point going in favor of Astra. Shade. Tying things up. All right. Now time to hightail it to the other side of the map. Again, you can see that Astra are going to be there way faster than Shade just because of that Lucio speed boost. All right, well, about that Lucio speed boost, no longer a threat, no longer a problem. Truth, finding picks, and Azul as well. Yeah, DPS on the side of Shade. Just finding these starting picks before the point even unlocks, and the point's going to be quickly in favor of Shade. This is a great start. I want to see more of this. And that's the thing. Sometimes you really do just gotta give some more support, give some more focus towards your DPS, and kind of let them ride. Who cares about a diva? All right, orbital ray being used from Mensa. trying to find targets. Window comes out as well from Mango, so they can't really utilize their orbital ray too much. They do demech Diva, I believe, so they're gonna have to use bomb to remech. And there it is, Rampage straight to the back, and they already used Immortality Field, so not gonna be able to survive that onslaught. 6ix9ine gets a pick. They almost flip the point. Oh, they actually do flip the point back in their favor. It's not too bad because again, that could have been an extra fight win for them, or an extra fight that they can actually play in. Not too shabby, almost 20% in their favor. Because think about it, if they had lost that fight and didn't get the percentage, they'd be at 80% right now. They'd be about to be closing out this third point. Gives them a moment of respite. Not for too much longer though. Gravelite just getting, put to critical health every single fight. Mango going over to the Moira with the assistance of the Biotic Orb, putting people super low. 69 hitting double headshots as well. Man, there's no amount of healing that's going to save you from this double headshot. 6ix9ine reconnects on both ends, both on the connection and just the actual accuracy. Just great start to this comeback at this point. See them kind of trying to line up the point right now. They do have High Noon. They're going to use it early. Emery catapulting himself to the sky. Got to be really careful, but he does actually chop down 6ix9ine. It could have been dangerous for them. Thankfully, they knew how much health they had, despite Astro being in his face with the defense matrix, still able to thread the needle, slide that explosive right onto the chin of 6ix9ine, and flip it back into their favor, closing out point number 3. Wants to try to tie things up. Only one more point to do it. And again, I was skeptical not running the Lucio, but they've been finding success. They still have Rally as well for this next fight. Mango can't pop Coalescence too close to Charp, otherwise you risk getting stunned out of your ultimate. All that saving up for nothing. All those bodies lined up close, not able to run away in time. They do actually trade out hit scans, so now no more hit scan on either side of the field. But I think it definitely favors the side of Shade because they still have the Diva to work with. Oh, Charp gets the pick onto the Tracer, immediately pops the Rally as well. They let Mensa fall, but now that means you get a second take for free on this objective. They're willing to commit the beat. Kind of question this beat usage, because, I mean, your Diva's not going to be able to survive for too much longer. They do have Bomb if they want to remech, if they really want to expend a lot of ultimates. And no, thankfully, they're going to try to save it up for the next fight. And, it was a decision to be made, for sure. Dino. Oh, they chop down Gravelette. Azul also killing the Cassidy. They still another one of those fights where they lost so many bodies and they still commit another support ultimate. They did that with Easton. They did it with Mango now this time around. I mean, they lost almost three targets, still committed to the ultimate, not finding any success, and they're just gonna match the support comp altogether. They gave up on the Lucio, going to the way of Brig and Juno. Gravelite can survive. This would be big. They do get rid of Truth, so no more Emery on the field. So now Astro could potentially play a little bit more aggressive. Rampage to the back line. Mango falls. You can see Gravelite just desperately trying to survive, hugging that health back for dear life. They do relinquish the point objective control. And this would be bad if they lose this fight, because that was a quick turnaround for them. They do axe 6ix9ine a question. Azul not going to be able to survive, and now Dino just trying to cut down the last support. Easton falling dangerously low, but they still fly away successfully. Stick comes out onto Charp, and they fall onto the blade. Dino, made that commitment onto the fight, but I mean, unfortunately relinquished that point control, and that would have been big for them because they would have gave themselves way more time to play with. But now 50% and counting, they do not have a whole lot of time left in the bank. They do have Orbital Array. I can imagine it's probably going to be a double DPS ultimate on the side of Shade to be able to try to turn things around. Astro still in mech though, nice and healthy. Diva Bomb in hand as well in case they want to get D-Mech played a little aggressive. Oh no, and S6ix9ine really getting chopped down. So many ultimates being expended. They need to make sure they find the point though. They do find it. Astro popping the Diva Bomb to remech, but to no avail. yeah, that was the last fight desperation, so they figured they spend everything, get the fight win. Gravelet can get the last second desperation touch, but again, that's all it's going to feel like, desperation at this point. No ultimates besides High Noon. I mean, it's going to be real difficult to find any success with just a High Noon, and it's not going to be able to find any success if you don't even touch the point. Shade ties things up, 1 map apiece.
Yeah, that was a really, really, really good showing by Shade. It just goes to show that Shade ain't gonna let them get themselves 3-0'd. They might come back in 3-1 Astra, or it could be the other way around, but it just goes to show that Shade does not want to get 3-0'd whatsoever, and they really want to win this.
It makes me feel good to see bans actually working, right? I mean, they banned the Kiriko specifically so they could run the Junker Queen, specifically so Azul can get a lot more value in the backline. And guess what? It paid off in dividends. I mean, just completely dominated on the tank side of things. I mean, sure, Astra was still doing good in terms of mitigating some of that damage and just trying to be a little bit more annoying when it comes to isolating targets by boosting into them and stuff like that. But again, can't do anything when Junker Queen wants something, Mommy gets it. I mean, just completely dominating with their ultimate and just making it so that you just get a guaranteed fight win as long as you hit the right targets.
Yeah, finding those right targets is always going to be good, so they can get the point quicker or faster. But if they don't hit the right targets, it can lead to having their team wiped or having a point being taken off. But always hitting those right targets always works to taking the point and also winning as well.
Of course, winning's the name of the game here. But now things all tied up. I have literally no clue what's the move here. They decided to ban the Sigma to start, and they went to the way of Watchpoint Gibraltar, which kind of makes me scratch my head. I feel like, you know, I was just glazing about the initial bans being successful, but I'm confused that we're gonna pick Watchpoint Gibraltar. I don't see a whole lot of Sigma being played on Gibraltar. What do you think the ban is for?
Could possibly be just holding the point as more as possible, but honestly, a Sigma ban on Watchpoint Gibraltar is unheard of and unseen of because Sigma, I feel like, is not great on Watchpoint Gibraltar. It would be the Devo or Winston, or possibly even some DPS and supports to get banned on Watchpoint Gibraltar than a Sigma.
Right. Yeah, we've seen a resurgence of the Doomfist. Obviously, Hazard being one of the better tanks to play out here, especially with his mobility and being able to survive for so long. So we'll have to see if the Sigma ban, maybe there's a reason behind it. But either which way, we'll find out what the second ban is going to be for map number 3. Honestly, Brig being banned, that's news to me.
Yeah, these are some pretty weird bans, I'm not gonna lie. These bans are pretty weird. I've never heard of a Brig ban and a Sigma ban on Watchpoint. It's just honestly weird.
Brig and Sig being banned for this third map on Watchpoint Gibraltar. I mean, I guess they're the same thing. They're just trying to focus on. They just want to focus on making things difficult for their team to survive, right? The Kiriko was the bane of their existence, so they get rid of that. So this time they thought maybe Brig was going to be their next best option if the Kiriko doesn't work. So maybe get rid of that. But either which way, not gonna matter too much altogether. All things considered, Watchpoint, very flexible map. You can play all sorts of characters. I've seen comps where they run Mizuki a whole lot, Wu Yang, Lucio, Kiriko, Juno, Mercies even has a place in this map. So definitely has a lot more flexibility in terms on the support side of things. Tank I've seen like you said, Karma, primarily dominated by Winston and Diva. that we talked a little bit earlier. I've even seen Doomfist find a lot of success, Wrecking Ball. But yeah, so let's see if we can find the lead here in this series. I mean, all things tied up. It can go either which way.
All right, it looks like both teams are ready, so we are gonna get, was it round 3? If I'm not mistaken. All right, we're gonna
Map
get
number
round. Map number 3 is gonna be on its way now.
And this map too. I mean, it's one of those things. Maybe I haven't been in scrims in a long time. It's definitely been a while since I've competed Karma. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Sig is like the new meta of this map, because this map underwent a lot of changes. Obviously, after the cinematics that been released, things aren't as pretty as they used to be. I mean, look at this rocket, basically about to blow up.
Yeah, and they also added a brand new, the bridge is broken. They also added a new sight line towards the start of second point in the server room, and they've also added multiple ways to get up to the Aurora ship in the main hangar. But all in all, I think it's just going to be a really good team fight regarding of the map changes.
I applaud their creativity, because I was like, I always get confused. I'm like, man, how do they change the map to make it balanced but still look like the map naturally, right? Because you don't want to just slap a box in the middle of the thing that just looks completely out of place. All of the changes in this map look very aesthetically pleasing, despite bridges being broken. It still looks like it's natural. So, oh gosh, Mochi getting naturally blown up, almost getting chopped down by Gravelite. No, Dino gets the first pick here, and again, with Shade being on attack to start here, they can really set the tone early, and they want to keep that momentum going from where they were last time. Azul back onto the Genji. This is the Genji playground for sure, but 69 going Ash. Kind of an interesting pick. You don't see Ash being played all too often, and look at the support lineups I was talking about. See how interesting it is? We're going to get the Ana, and Wu Yang on support.
Yeah, on this map, Ana is very good if you're playing on the high ground and playing back. So Ana is really, really, really good for a support on the defensive side. But on the offensive side, I don't think Ana can be that more into it, but Ana on defense is really good. Wu Yang can also be really good. He's just going to play strategic on defense and attack. Yeah, I've seen
Mango, heal me! Please, Mango! Oh god, that was unfortunate to say. Hey, play, turn to your left, heal me. But yeah, I mean, you were talking about how strong, Ana could be on defense, able to get that first pick off the rip to start off the fight. However, Dino helping, distract some of the targets. That's the only thing when you're running this Ana comp, you need to have a support that can kind of stick to Ana's side. She's kind of a glass cannon, right? She cannot survive those dives from their team. Especially the way that Azul's been playing. You could have a second support that sticks with you the entire time, and you still wind up dying. Azul's has been so dominant in this series so far. You know what? He's looking to maintain that excellence right now. Dino gets back into mech, but immediately going to get demeched again. Oh god, Mango, you gotta run, dude! Oh my gosh, get nuked! Went around the corner, but guess what? Legalized nuclear bombs. They bounce around corners. Dino chopping down some last few targets as well. And if Astra doesn't get out successfully, might be all she wrote for this point. 69 does put Bob on point. They get Azul, so they trade DPS outs. And on this point in particular, definitely favors defensive. Ooh, and Dino popping the bomb on site. They do get Gravelette. Unfortunate. Chart falls super low, but they're able to survive for the time being, and they still have beat. It looks like they're just going to regroup. Dino was able to pop that bomb. They get Gravelite, but not able to survive as the baby form. Going for the reset. They have Blade lined up. Who wants to get that low taper fade? Let's find out. Mochi, Kitsune. I don't know if that messed up or if it was in the wall or what. But no Kitsune on point. Easton popping the tidal wave onto the Tracer, looking for a connection. Same thing, looking for connection on the pulse bomb, nothing. Beat comes out as well as the blade, messes up the dash and able to get them cleave down. Nice charge railgun shot from 69. Not gonna matter, and now it's just a matter of dealing with this on high ground. And that's what I was talking about. You gotta keep your Ana alive, gotta keep them involved in the fight for the entire time being. Astro falls, but they do have U-Bomb, and they can remech. Nice little anti right after the Suzu ends, so they're not gonna be able to help cleanse any of this. Dino, Dino falls, or Dino is able to get rid of the support lineup with Gravelette, of course, surviving the entire time and just being a thorn in their backs. And that's what I was talking about. You gotta have that flanker surviving a lot of these fights. Gravelette and Azul. I feel like that's gonna be the tail of the tape tonight. It's gonna be a matter of who can get that initial pick. Is Gravelette gonna get a crazy triple kill with his pulse bomb, or is Azul gonna get the quadra kill with his blade? Power position is still on the ship, but you can't kind of jump around on the high ground all freely. Dino making a strict commitment onto this point. They do survive. Azul getting put to below half, and there goes the last bit of his health. Hideki does get rid of Easton. Oh no, 69 getting really low. Dino getting rid of their Diva counterpart, and Truth disposing of the rest. Now, second point gonna go to the way of Shade. 3 minutes, 10 seconds on the time bank. Looking pretty comfortable here. But this last point, lack of verticality, could play a factor on the side of Astra. Again, the only person that can really scale the walls is going to be Easton and Astro. The rest of the team kind of has to wait in the wheel side and wait for their team to kind of drop down. Could be a little scary. Truth popping their ult as well to the back line, but nobody sighted. There's nothing but clear skies out here. Gravelette falls, and they're gonna commit some ultimates on the point. Overclock coming out from 69, gets kind of low. Gotta be careful, your Diva's already deep in the fight in the back line. But, I mean, I feel like that was definitely a decision to be made. They get rid of the Sojourn off the point. Astro on site with Diva Mom to remech. They're going to use the remech here. Now he has to play a little bit more cautious around the bomb. And they get rid of Astro and Baby Diva form. That was so big. That was a fight-winning kill right there for side of Shade. And they cap it with almost 2 minutes on the time bank. That was a huge pick right there. That one pick on the Baby Diva completely made that fight from a stagger to a sweep.
What it looked like from there was it looked like that Astra was actually going to defend like really well and take the 2-0, but Shade just came back and just ruthlessly forced its way back into the last point, and they got that point. So it's a really good what we saw from the first round. But we're gonna see if they can kind of replicate it again in the second. If not, it would just still be a great round.
Yeah, they've been really bounced back with a commanding fashion this series. I mean, Azul. I mean, we've seen a couple swaps on the side of DPS for Shade, but they've still been looking really dominant. Main thing I want to point out is like I said, Azul and Dino have been really on point in terms of diving targets. I mean, you already pointed it out, Karma, at the start. Like, that's what they need to do for this next map. They need to be a little bit more coordinated in terms of their dives. And guess what? They've been doing exactly what you've been saying. And now they've been finding a lot of success. And now with 2 minutes on the time bank, a great win condition for them here. So let's see if they can match the time bank or even do better. If I'm Astra right now, I'm just mainly trying to get rid of this Genji first, because I feel like you can't really get anything going. You can't leave your supports alone for too long. You leave your kid in the car, you gotta leave a window open, right? So the way they open the window, the way they crack the Shade, they gotta get rid of this Genji first. Dino already going straight to the back line. Mango falls. Mochi has to teleport in and use Suzu, but it doesn't matter. Easton falls as well, but and again, do not want to get D-necked here if you're Astra or if you're Dino, because you're really far away from your team. They changed that health back to a small one. It looks like Charp isn't going to be able to help keep their team alive. Truth getting a pick as well. I mean, look how they're spread out, all scattered along each and every high ground. 6-9 falls super low. Gonna have to use Suzu super early here as well in this fight. Astro not gonna be able to survive for too long. Hideki just completely chopped him down. Who's saying Hideki or Mochi? Am I blind? Is that like streamer mode? Solaire? Why does it look like that?
Hi. Hey there.
What, the Kiriko?
Oh, you know what? Never mind. I forgot. This is the homie. Yeah, the Kiriko had different names, so I was like super confused.
Oh.
Astro getting sent back to spawn again. Swapped over to the Winston, but to no avail. And now look at this ult. Look at this ult bank on the side of Shade. They got so many ultimates. I mean, they have Truth. I mean, they have the Kitsune Rush. Dino's got Bomb. If they get a little aggressive, they can just remech. No fear. Yeah, let's see what they make the commitment. They make the commitment onto the Emery ult first. And Grabolite has to blink away, otherwise risk getting blown up, blown to smithereens. Azul. Oh man, this is a start, right? I was talking about the Genji being a nuisance, a thorn in their sides. They swapped over to the Winston specifically to get rid of him. But now it's a fear. Like we've always talked about how D.Va's been like the counterpart to Winston. The jelly to his peanut butter. Hideki out of position, getting cleaved by the overclock. Charge shot. Back on the objective. Grabolet's been keeping things competitive because I mean, if they only went onto the bot after they won team fights, that bot would be nowhere. So good positioning for their team. Lucio getting super low. If Charp falls without getting beat out, that's going to be huge. Kitsune Rush on point. They do get rid of Astro, but the trade coming in for Truth. And the beat comes out in the nick of time for their team, so they're able to survive the onslaught. And Grabolet not going to be able to help survive. They try to use Pulse Bomb in a sign of desperation. No connection. I wonder if he's going to make a change. What do you change to? I saw the Echo, but they've been running the Emery. Still staying on the Tracer. Was hoping for a miracle pulse bomb. No connection. Lucio. Trying to help contest the objective. Everybody's super critical when nobody's near the Lucio, and we're going to still pop Kitsune Rush on point. Grabolet falls before the beat comes out. Azul has Blade if we really need it, but overclock in hand. 150 charge, but no targets in sight. Azul still popping the Blade on the point. 69 slides away, but not going to be able to survive for too much longer thanks to the assistance of the Boop. Just a matter of cleaning up the last target, the last Winston on point, the last Monkey. And that's going to be a full hold on the side of Shade. Great defense on the side of it. And like I said, what a turnaround. Momentum definitely on their side. It's just been looking complete and utter domination from Shade.
Yeah, that last round went straight for Shade's way, because what I think Astra did is not swap off the Winston, because D.Va counters Winston if you don't play Winston correctly. So having a Winston just all the time and not swap him to like a Zarya or like kind of like a Domina is just not good. So if it's possibly not swapping off the Winston was the reason for the first point not being able to capture it. But regardless, it was an excellent hold from Shade.
Right. Yeah, I mean, hindsight 2020, right? You're always gonna say like, I should have done this, should have done that. You know, I think they still did the right choices. Just a matter of
Yeah.
like you were saying at the start of the series, just need to play a little bit more coordinated. They looked very disgruntled, right? They every single time they're making ult choices, they looked like they were, you know, kind of just Hail Marys, right? The pulse bomb when your whole team is dead, the overclock when there's nobody on point, the the Winston Primal at the very last second, just trying to contest the point when your entire team. These are things that you need to start, locking down right now. Because luckily they're still not out of it. They're only down by one map, despite how dominated they were on that last map. They still have an opportunity to bring it back. I mean, one game, one successful turnaround, and you're going to a final game. You're going into it, all even Steven. So hopefully they can lock it down. Hopefully they kind of give themselves some breathers so they can kind of figure out what they need to do going into this potential last map from map number 4. And it looks like they've already made the decision on map choice and the actual bans very quick on the side of them. So maybe they don't need a whole lot of time. They say, hey, we know what? That was just a gimme. We know what we got to do. We know what maps we want to go into. We're already banning the Emery, which I think is great. I think you get rid of the Emery, get Truth out of here. And now, what does Shade want to ban in retaliation? What do they want to do? Are they going to throw some random pick out of nowhere for us? Like they're just going to ban Mercy? Or are they going to actually do a real ban?
Honestly, it actually might come down to just whatever they want to ban, because they probably know in their minds or to each other that they can take on whatever they like play. So having like a different kind of ban can probably work in their favor. But if they have to for New Queen Street, I would possibly say probably I think Lucio's kind of good on New Queen, but having like a Reinhardt who's really good on New Queen can actually do really, really well on tank. But for like DPS, I would have to say Tracer if they can like ban Tracer again, because Tracer can do really well in flanking from like both sides.
Yeah, especially push maps or push maps. Yeah, push maps in general have just been uh a playground for a lot of the flankers. Genji, we've seen a whole lot. I'm surprised to see the ban on the Genji, but Emery I think is still one of the thorns in the side. Maybe it gives time for Gravelet to actually go back onto the Echo. I think they had a lot of success with the Echo as well. So hopefully we can see more of that. But alas, we're still awaiting the last ban for map number 4. I think if they want to keep going with banning a support, I would imagine Lucio would be a good ban here to kind of slow things down a little bit. Hell, they can even ban Kiri again, I think, for sure. And then just go back to putting Dino onto the Junker Queen. All right, never mind. Screw all that. We're going to ban D.Va. Get her out of here.
Which I don't know why they banned D.Va, since the tank from Shade was actually playing really well on D.Va last round. So they probably can't play D.Va on here, so they decided to do a tactical ban for the D.Va ban, but you never know.
Yeah, it could be that. It's one of those things. I feel like the saving grace was Astro trying their best to kind of shoot down a lot of the supports. So, and we already seen a lot of success from Dino. Dino was playing that Junker Queen back on Saravasa and was looking really, really dominant. So he could just go right back to it. No flinching involved. So let's see how they deal with the no D.Va and no Emery on this next map. They're still keeping Hideki in, Mensa, Azul, and Jay getting subbed back into the lineup. So I'm excited to see. Hopefully, I could see Astra kind of rally together because again, we're only down by one map. This is not a doom or gloom situation. I really gotta emphasize. You gotta get your teammates locked in. Tell them hey, this is still our time. We could still bring it back. The match is not over. It ain't over till it's over.
But I feel like from this map, Astra's gonna have to play out of their mind to stay in, because if not, Shade's gonna take the 3-1. But I'm really hoping to see Astra play really, really fantastically as a team in communicating really well to stay in. But if not, again, it would just be Shade going home with the win.
Right. Yeah. Don't want to fall. Again, this is only week 3, so they still have plenty of time to rally back throughout the rest of the season. I believe they're both not too far off. They're both pretty solid in terms of standings. But yeah, week 3, trying to set that tone that we're here to stay. All right, just
But
getting
it
ready
does.
checks right now. And we got ready checks. Karma, are we ready to load in?
We are 100% ready to load into this upcoming map. So, without further ado, let's start.
Man, Corona, you ask what's the score. The score has always been up for like, 90% of the stream, and then like the one time you click into it, the only time the score does not show. What are the chances of that? That's our timing out here. We got perfect timing. Here we go. Looks like we are so back. You ever tried poutine, Karma?
I've actually have never tried it before. Is it good?
If you like French fries and you like gravy, it's great. If you're not a fan of those, probably not. And by probably I mean no, you would not like it, because it's like curdled cheese, with gravy and French fries, or chips as like they call it across the pond.
I'll honestly have to give it a try one day.
Yeah, when I got to try when I went to the last Overwatch League Grand Finals. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it, but it was a nice one-off. I would, like, if I go to Canada again, I'd definitely get it again. One thing I'd like to say, ketchup chips are the best. But here we go. Map number 4. We're loaded in. Astro on the Ramatra and Dino on the Sigma. Interesting. Let's see if they can make it happen. See if we can make it work. See if we can go to a final game, or things gonna be all over for Astra. Gravelette already starting off hot, along with 6-9. Oh yeah! And this is a great start for them. This is exactly what they needed. I think this map, this game mode, is definitely going to go in favor of them. You're going to let Gravelette just kind of run haywire on their backline. And if Mensa and Hideki don't, coordinate and strategize how to deal with this Tracer, Tracer's definitely going to be talking the town. And look what I was talking about. Gravelette and Azul matching on the Tracer battle. Yeah, to look it up, both these teams currently have 2 wins. Shade has already suffered their first loss. This is the 3rd week. I guess they must have a bye week. So luckily for them, Astra still undefeated and still an opportunity to stay undefeated. Hideki falling super low. Luckily, they're able to survive the onslaught. Immortality field being used, but Mango does fall. And if they can get a checkpoint here, this would be big. But luckily, they stop it maybe 2 meters shy of the checkpoint. Not bad at all. But again, not getting a checkpoint is super lucky for your team, because it gives your team an opportunity to make that comeback. Hideki disposing of Gravelette. Azul on the prowl themselves. Can Mango get this pick and get rid of this Tracer? Yeah, he's not going to even try to challenge. He's not going to risk it. No reason to give your team a deficit, right? You have the objective. No reason to do anything crazy. They're just trying to go one step at a time. Deal with Tracer first, then go to the objective. They have that Tracer battle happening off screen, and then you know what? They're just going to contest the bot. Annihilation on point. Can't say roll credits on this league, but I'm still going to wind up rolling credits, chopping everybody down. I know what you want to say something there. All right. Flipping it back in their favor. If they can get checkpoint, this would be big. Not too expensive. They did use pulse bomb, but it doesn't matter, because they can get this checkpoint here. Azul super low. Has to recall, but still with 1 HP and 69, chasing them down. You shall not get far. Yeah, no health back in sight. And that's going to be the checkpoint in favor of Astra. Again, I want to talk momentum shifts. This is a huge momentum swing in favor of Shade, or in favor of Astra. Shade was looking dominant those last 2 maps. Okay, wow. Try to pop the graphitic, but nothing. Graphitic Flux, no success. Immortality Field on site. Pulse Bomb sticks onto Astro. Despite the Kitsune Rush being there, there's no Suzu in sight to be able to keep him alive, and Easton falling to the bazooka. Mango gets the pick and is able to get out in time, hopefully able to survive. Oh gosh, just trying to jump for the hills, not going to be able to survive for the moment. Lands directly onto the disruptor shot. They lose forward spawn. Mango's going to have to regroup with their team, reconvene at another time. Beat going to be exposed super early from Easton, but guess what? That was a huge turnaround. I don't think they're expecting it either. I was definitely questioning it, but I'm not questioning the skills of 69. 4 picks, lights up the kill feed, gets the bot back into their favor. They did lose forward spawn, but guess what? They're gonna get it right back. And Dino giving up on the Sigma dreams, going to the way of the horse. Arisa back in play. Feel like it's a natural counter to the Ramatra. Can't block for too much longer. Gonna be met with the spear. Ooh, overclock on hand. They do kind of trade off shots. No picks yet though. I like them kiting it out, waiting it out, playing a little bit more patiently, but just when I say that, Astro wanting to use a shield, wants to be desperately into the fight. It's gonna be met with the broadside of the blade. Shut down. Back to the spawn we go. See, Gravelet, unfortunately, not going to be able to survive. Getting staggered super bad. They do give their team time to get that forward spawn, so I guess it's not the end of the world. You can see them all kind of eyeing down Azul. Azul's been doing a great job spreading the attention a little bit. Mochi, no! Unfortunate. Mochi, bro, Hideki does wind up falling. It's heartbreaking right there because that was from Easton. Easton was kind of just wall riding. I was kind of concerned. Oh, Gravelet establishing their dominance. Hey, this is my character. Stay on the Genji, pal. And a Dino falls here too. That's gonna be a huge stagger. Yeah, pulse pump for good measure. And the double kill from Gravelet. Make it a third. Just domination right now from Tracer. That's some toxicity right there. I like it, but that's the confidence you gotta have, right, Karma? You gotta set them the tone. You gotta tell them, hey, I am here to stay.
100%.
Back to the fight. You see them being aggressive here. Shield in hand. They do stop Annihilation here. You gotta be careful. Dino falling super low. They do have Terror Surge. They're gonna... I was gonna say, I wouldn't commit that, considering you don't have any supports that can kind of keep you alive. Lucio is not one of those healers that can kind of keep you alive while you're critical, right? You got to have the Kitsune, you got to have the tags, maybe hell even the Suzu. But I mean, even still, it's not great at keeping you alive when you get super duper low. But a nice fight win, just shy of 100 meters. Let's see if they can turn things around. They do stop the Annihilation in hand. Lucio speed boost with that does pair well. Azul trying to help their supports as best as they can. Easton falls despite overclock coming out from 6-9. Dino shutting down the overclock. They see nuclear bombs trying to be legalized. They do get rid of Mango, who's cowering in the corner, just desperately hoping they wouldn't find him, and they do find the kill. This will be the checkpoint for Shade. They still got plenty of time to recontest before that lead relinquishes back into their favor, but this is a good start. They still got plenty of time. 2.5 minutes still on the clock. Hey, Kitsune on point. Mango was looking for a fadeaway. They do actually get Hideki, even though it doesn't stick. He still winds up getting both supports, and now Dino was trying to help equalize it with the assistance of Jay. They do get the 2 picks, but with no supports, all this damage will be permanent. Yeah, Annihilation on the point as well. Yeah, it's going to be lights out for their team. Not much they can do. They do, but on the bright side, they do get the checkpoint, right? So that's perfect for them. So now if they wind up winning this next fight, they push the bot all the way back to that 57-meter mark. They are going to be able to actually get some progress into diminishing some of this lead. Gravelet falls, window comes out, and it's immediately run for the hills. turn tide. And again, you don't need to commit any ultimates here. You just gotta survive that 1 minute 30-second timer. You have 40-meter lead. Jaybird in 69. I mean, both DPS on both teams have been doing really well. Again, early beat from Easton, straight to the back line. Hideki not gonna be able to survive. Mango does help cleave down Hideki. The assistance of Suzu. Oh, Dino. Spearing out isolated targets. They do get 2 picks, but is it gonna matter? Oh, last second recall. They still get rid of Gravelette. Now it's just a 2v3. But again, that bot's not going anywhere. Full charge Javelin, no connection, no dice. Terra Surge in hand, so he doesn't have. Does he have the Terra? No, he does not have the Terra Surge bird. So he's got to make sure he pops it when he has enough life to sustain. You only get about like 200, 300 armor when you decide to make that pop on point. Mensa giving up on the Baptiste, going to Kiriko. Suzu does come out, so now they have no way to keep Hideki alive. Oh, Terra Surge comes out from Dino. They're not going to be able to get, they get so many people low, but not going to be able to get any elimination secured. And with the final 10 seconds on the clock, it's just a matter of cleaning up the rest of the kills. Not going to push the bot so they don't give them any room to play, no room to recontest. And Azul going to fall with the Pulse Bomb in hand, losing that Tracer 1v1 duel. And it takes us to a final map between these two teams. He got a little dicey towards the end there, but thankfully their team was able to help peel, and I think it was all on the backs of their composition choices. Great choices on the sides of DPS, supports. You know what that means. We go to the tiebreaker map.
This is honestly such a good match that we have here. It's just that a better team kind of got the better placement and better team management. Like as I said for Astra, I said that Astra had to do more communication, more comms, more playing as a team, and that's what they did. They played more as a team, and it led to a tie for 2-2. So now we have a tiebreaker map to show who will win the Astra versus Shade match.
All comes down to this. Everything on the line for these guys. Astra still undefeated this season. They're currently 2-0, while Shade is sitting at 2-1 on the season. So Shade does not try to fall to that 50-50 win-loss ratio. They want to stay dominant. They won those previous 2 maps, but then when they went into map number 4, kind of got swept off their feet. I mean, despite them getting that checkpoint, I still felt like it was super in favor of Astra. They were just looking really clean on all of their engagements, not overcommitting. I told them, I said, hey man, why use ultimates when you're about to lose that fight? And guess what? They were able to help kind of stabilize the fight, weren't overcommitting. They were kiting very well and just playing super duper strong. But now it comes down to a final map, and it looks like that Jaybird letting the team know that we're going to go to Blizzard World. All right. So Blizzard World in hand. Looks like they're getting a little potty break. Okay. But yeah, I think bans are going to be super important in this last map, because I mean, even if they decide to go with like their comfortable characters, their comfort picks, I still want to. I want to see them make educated bans. I do not want to see a Sigma ban here. I want to see some thought go into it. I want to see them take their time. They really haven't been taking too much time when it comes to bans and map selection. They've been kind of pretty quick with it, which I appreciate, because it means we're not taking so long on stream. But at the same time, you kind of want to game plan with your team and find out who you want to prioritize, who you want to focus. Stuff that you've already told them, Karma. But yeah, again, it's got to go the distance between these two teams. I feel like they are very neck and neck out of all the teams for the North American region. These teams are both in the upper echelon. You could definitely see when you look at the standings between the tier 4 North American teams, even on the EU side of things, there's definitely a tier gap between the top 4 and the bottom 4. So once you see, the top 4, it's hard to think that they're gonna kind of fall below the line, considering how dominant one half of the team, one half of the tier is. Yeah, I could tell. Solaire. I hate you changing your name to Soil Muncher. That's funny. But yeah, bans coming up for the team. Oh my gosh, they're I would like to see potentially a tracer ban if I'm a Shade fan, right? What do you think, Karma? Who do you think they should try to ban in this next fight? This final map?
Since we're gonna be on Blizzard World, I would say Widow, because Widow on defense is really good, but it kind of looked like they went with a Zombra and Diva, I believe. Yeah, Zombra
What?
Diva. They went with Zombra Diva for a ban.
Well, I see the Diva. I see the Diva ban. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough, honestly, for Astra, because I feel like Astra's been primarily doing well on the Diva. We did just see a map win with the Ramatra, so guess what? We might be seeing a little even more Ramatra being played tonight. So hopefully they got it locked and loaded for this final map. I'm gonna be excited to see how they make their adjustments going into this. I don't think we've ever seen a Sombra at this throughout this entire series, so it's kind of a weird ban for that one. But guess what? I'm doing the same thing. Whenever I play ranked, I don't care if I haven't seen a Sombra in 20 games. We're still banning Sombra. But here we go. Predictions are also going to be up here for you guys, so make sure you bet your points. And let's see who's going to take the series. Final map in hand, Blizzard World. Who's going to take it?
And welcome back, Kaizen. This is going to be our last map of the Week 3 Elemental Shade versus Catalyst Esports Astra. So, we have the Diva and Zambra being banned from this match, which is really random to see a Zambra being banned. We don't get to see Zambra banned often in matches. But a Diva ban, I get it. Diva is really good. She has her defense matrix can heal from bullet damage, or she has a like a sharpshooter type of ability in her perks. But yeah, what do you think about the match right now, Mr. Leafrog?
I'm liking what I'm seeing. I see a lot of adaptation on the sides of both teams. I see a lot of changes. Nobody's kind of sticking to their guns, aside from like Azul and Gravelette, and of course 6ix9ine. A lot of changes throughout all the characters. A lot of swaps. We're gonna see a lot more of that here. Final map going into it, Blizzard World. Let's see if they can close out this series. Stay undefeated. Astra looking for their 3rd win of the season, trying to stay undefeated as well. Shade try to improve to 3-1. Sigma coming out here for Dino. This is a good start because I think stuck in the corner, the dreaded corner. I hate that spot. Shield being committed super early from Astro, so now they have to play this whole fight without a shield and without a hit scan. Gonna be kind of tough. They do still have a Tracer alive in the backline, but of course with Truth on the Emery could be a little annoying to deal with. You can see point in case. Nice, Gravelette, unfortunately overstaying their welcome. They do get 6ix9ine back just in time, but just in time to watch the rest of their team fall. They're gonna be able to cap it here with 3 minutes on the time bank, a huge amount of time to work with to be able to cap point number 2. Yeah, 5.5 minutes. This is a good start. Astro giving up on the Domina, going over to the Winston. I'm trying to look at their team comp. I guess they're just trying to get rid of Azul. But I'm surprised he doesn't go back to the Ramatra, right? Because, I mean, he was looking very dominant on their Ramatra. There's not a whole lot of bans that can stop him from going their Ramatra. I feel like Ramatra is a very solid pick on this map as well. So we're going to have to see if he sticks with the Winston the entire time, or we're going to see some changes. Maybe he's just saving it up for potentially the last point. Don't want to reveal your cards too early. Give them time to make adjustments. Easton on the Wu Yang once again. Gotta be careful. Astro does get rocked. Getting kind of low, but now we have Nano to play with. So maybe Nano onto the Winston straight to the back line. Supports are going to have to beware. Hideki, yeah, not going to be able to survive for too much longer. They just got completely blown to smithereens. Lucio going to be there shortly after. Yeah, just chopping down the rest of their team. Truth gets a pick onto 6ix9ine, but it's not going to matter when you have a full HP Winston doing jump shots like that. Glad we got to catch that one. Astro just chopping people up, man. I told you Cleve was the word of the day. Still not going to be able to make it over the wall. So close, but yet so far. Gravelette playing really aggressive. I mean, this is good if you're an Astra fan right now, because I mean, you have tons of ultimates lined up. We've already got a minute and a half burned up on the clock. Essentially going to be 2 minutes here gone, and that's what you need to do with a 5-minute time bank. Time is the name of the game. You gotta find a way to win these fights dry, because when Shade wants to make commitments like this next fight, it's got to make it work. Teleporting into him, Gravelette blinking away. Luckily still has their life to play with. Truth doesn't have anything, no secondary ability to work with, so it's not going to be able to jump away. No Halo jumps for you. Astro keeping the high ground nice and healthy. 6ix9ine again, just playing that spot, that power position where you need to be. I want to see Truth be able to contest that high ground at some point in time. Dino swapping over to the Winston as well. You know, I was questioning the Winston pick, but you know what? These guys said that's a great idea. Let's do it up. No more monkey business though. Early beat from Sharp. They commit to the high ground because they want this power position. We were already talking about it. Easton falls to the blade, and so will 6ix9ine. Mango does get rid of the blade, but the damage has already been done. 2 big picks. Sharp gonna be able to get the first pick of themselves before they fall. And look at Gravelette, been doing amazing work just contesting the point the whole time. Truth actually might be able to fall as well. They do get Hideki. This is a big turnaround. I thought Azul with that double kill the blade was gonna be plenty enough to be able to secure this point, but look at the turnaround. Gravelette contesting that point. Astro, excellent primal. I mean, essentially a blade of his own. He was able to charp down and survive that onslaught, recontest the point. You know, Gravelette able to get Hideki off the site was big. Hey, are they gonna be able to chop him down? They wanted to. Yeah, you see Truth just hiding. He needs heals from Hideki desperately. His overclock did a lot in terms of spacing. Not a whole lot of picks, but still, definitely a successful ult if I'm an Astra fan. Ooh, and Azul swapping over to the Vendetta. I was talking about chopping people up. He's doing it. He's living it up. Living the dream. Gravelette, 2 kills. Trying to make it a 3rd. Hideki falling super low. Oh, and they're not going to be able to survive. And man, I was concerned. I saw those 2 picks on the side of them. Thought we were going to be able to survive it, but no matter. Nice healthy cap for Shade. And again, that's why I was worried about that time bank. They did get that 5-minute time bank down to you know, that single minute, which is not bad at all. Azul back on the Genji. The true blade, the one he's comfortable with. Interesting, he doesn't go for the heals off of the Dragon Blade. He actually picks the perk that gives you the extra double jump after the dash. Maybe opts for more agility versus survivability. You see Astro contesting the high ground. It's got the healing bubble, and with the lack of damage that the team has, makes it hard for them to kind of blow up the bubble. 69 gets the pick as well as Gravelette. 2 picks on this fight, trying to make it a 3rd. Sees to get the outback and not willing to pressure him. Just gonna kind of sit back on the payload and again contest that objective. Easton swapping over to the Brig. I didn't even realize they swapped over to the Brig. It was a while ago because I mean they already built up their rally. Not too disappointed at all. Should be easy to keep Mango nice and healthy. Now, how are they going to get rid of this backline? Because I mean, now they have to deal with a Brig, a full HP Brig, mind you. Dino, recognize that, goes over to the JQ. Early bubble from Astro, forced to jump out. They've got objective control. I want to see Astro contest this payload a little bit more. Uh-oh, Truth trying to drop bombs off, but Astro putting a bubble in his face. Forced to use a super early rampage and an early Brig rally as well. Okay, Astro gets the picks. 6-9 trying to equalize it as well. More picks on the field. Oh no! Super late beat from Shade. And the anti coming out as well. That's going to be a wrap for them, folks. That was a super late beat from Sharp. Not able to keep Dino alive. Hopefully that's not a round-ending mistake, a series-losing mistake. Because again, if they could stop him here, that's a win condition, Karma. That will be a win or loss situation if they stop him right here.
Yeah, 100%. If they get them stopped right here, it would just be in favor of them.
Nano, no, we just went outside of LOS. Not able to get the Nano out in time, and now they lost Easton as well. They have to give the Nano to the Tracer, and not gonna be able to survive. Oh, what a turnaround. I think I might have jinxed it, big bro. That was so sad. And if he can't contest, he can't touch the point. That 7 seconds is so big. What a turnaround. I was just talking about how this map could be over in favor of Astra, and a remarkable turnaround. All off the backs of the displacement from Dino. Dino hitting the knife onto Astro, forcing him out of position, not able to get that Nano off in time. Mango was heartbroken, forced to use the Nano, not on the Brig, not on your tank, but a measly Tracer. And again, that health pool is not going to extend much further. You get that little bit of overhealth, but guess what? When you're going into a Kitsune rush like that, especially against somebody who's as accurate as Truth, you're not going to survive for too much longer. And just like that, now a win condition in favor of Shade. These guys are going so back and forth. This is crazy. we're gonna have to see what adjustments they make. Because again, it's tough because the brig wasn't a bad pick, but I very preemptive on the rally. I don't know what it is. Something in the water has been making these Lucios press their ultimate super early on. Charp with super early beats, Easton with super early beats, and when he's playing the brig, he's getting early rallies as well. And that's it's all in the backs of these tanks. These tanks have been doing such a good job at pressuring them, making them feel scared that if they don't pop their ultimate now, they won't get an opportunity to. Here we go. Attacking side for Astra. Looking to either match or even do a little bit better. The good thing is they got them under a minute, so even if they full cap it in overtime, they will still have an opportunity to play. So Hideki falls super low. Truth as well. Hideki is being super greedy, trying to hold on to that Suzu, not trying to use it on themselves. But alas, you try to be selfless, you want to be isolated, and Azul accidentally walling off their own tank. Dino only going to be able to survive for as long as that Suzu lasts, and it won't last long, because that's going to be a quick fight win. And again, very similar approaches, very similar time banks for this first point. 5.5 minutes to work with. Dino recognizing, you know what, Sigma ain't it, Chief. Swapping off the Sigma, going back over to the Winston, and Azul matching the Tracer. I'm surprised I'm not seeing the match on the replacement Genji again, but maybe wants to be a little bit more pestering on the objective, and that's kind of a character you need to play. If you want to contest an objective, you want to contest any payload, any point, play Tracer. I promise you, so much easier to blink around. So hard to kind of lock her down.
The only way to stop a Tracer is with a well-placed flashbang from Cassidy. But it looks like they're not going to play Cassidy, so the Tracer's going to have a little bit of a free roam.
Right. Not a whole lot of CCs you can kind of play with. I mean, you got the Winston jump maybe, but you're kind of leaning on Mango a bit to kind of get those points, get those sleep darts. When the Nano onto the Winston. And finally, Hideki pops the Suzu, but it's just that's what Mango's waiting for every single time. He forces those fights, and every single time the Suzu comes out, the anti-nade is immediately showing up afterwards. I don't know if you picked up on that, but every single fight that Mango's been baiting out a Suzu, it's been met immediately with the anti-nade. Easton putting the Tidal Blast onto themselves, able to get the pick onto Hideki. They get rid of 6ix9ine. He tried to pop his overclock to try to get rid of Truth. But unfortunately, you can't handle the Truth. Wow, Astro still committing the... Oh, almost backcapped. Okay, still an opportunity. Gotta be careful. You see the Tracer just contesting this point as long as they can. They get the stick onto Mango. Get rid of him. Get him out of my sights. And that was a fight-saving ultimate as well from Azul, because if they didn't get rid of that Ana, that Winston would have been able to stay on the point a little bit longer, and they see them forced to go back to the spawn doors, forced to regroup, and recontest them another time. And Sharp going over to the brig as well. No Wu Yang mirror, no Lucio in sight. Oh no, Truth falling super low. Hey Hideki, can I get a couple of them tags? Pass me a couple of them tags, big bro. Uh-oh. Astro getting a little aggressive. Unfortunately, not going to be able to survive. Dino is forced to use his Primal Rage, which is good, because now that's a dry fight for them. They didn't use anything, and they baited out one ultimate. Definitely a win in their favor. I would have liked to see them kite a little bit more, but again, Mango couldn't see the tank. Definitely would have been able to build up the Nano in time. And Astro just said, screw it. We're done with the Winston, going to the Ramatra. Oh my goodness, we are just swapping all sorts of things. I didn't think I'd be seeing Azul on the Tracer all series. He's been kind of dominant on the Genji, but again, when it comes to contesting the objective, Tracer is going to be Queen Almighty. They do have Nano, so I would like to see the Nano probably get put onto either 6ix9ine or Astro. And the thing is, I appreciate 6ix9ine has been very defensive with his overclock, just trying to help counter the Emery ult every single time. But I think we're gonna have to see a change, because it's not been finding a whole lot of success. Hopefully, he can be a little bit more aggressive, maybe control this point This objective is very close to capping, so if they could just pop one overclock, control that point, would be good. Nano onto the Tracer, and again, look at that. He's already on low ground. Nobody on site. That's going to be back to the drawing boards for their team. Both recalled at the same time. But yeah, that's definitely going to be wanting a refund on the Nano. Maybe swapping off Easton back onto the Lucio. Playing mystery heroes right now. Here we go. Again, Gravelette needs to keep this payload to a point where they could just win one team fight and then cap the point. You're going to contest the high ground, going to the right side this time, but that's the thing, you're forgetting about your supports. You play a little aggressive like that, not going to be able to help keep your supports alive, especially with an Embryo nuking them as well. They're able to survive for a little bit, but Dino helped chopping down the rest of them. And Sharp wants to get involved on this kill feed. He's definitely going to get involved, but not in the way they'd like.
We almost had a C9.
But again, that's what you need to do. If you're Gravelette, you have to keep contesting. That is so big. No rally here for this next fight. If they can regroup fast, they can get right back on this point. They can just cap it right now. Astro, gotta get to the point, man. You got Lucio speed boost. You gotta get on it right now with no rally in sight. They're gonna be forced to use Kitsune Rush. They have to use it super early on. Tracer falls super low. Azul falls. Overclock as well. And no rally gonna be forced out from Shark. Both support ultimates gone. 20 seconds left. If they're gonna want to regroup, they have to regroup right now. Gravelette fall, gets the pick, as well as 6-9. They wind up backcapping the whole thing while Dino's still alive. That was a C9 if I've ever seen it. Got a little aggressive, try to capitalize on the backs of the pick from Truth. But unfortunate for them, they just kind of lost sight of the point. Lost sight of what matters most. Oh, this is bad. I mean, Shade was able to, they could have actually closed out the series. They could have just said it right here and now. Dino had Primal Rage. They would have had plenty of time to contest. They popped both support ultimates, and now they've got nothing for this next fight. Astro has Annihilation. They have Beat coming up. So many ults at their disposal. They just got to find a way to kill this clock. 1 minute left. I don't think it's a matter of if they can cap it. It's a matter of when. Okay, and they decide to commit it. They want to commit it now. They're going to be able to isolate some targets. Hideki has to teleport out. Not going to be able to survive for too much longer thanks to the assist from Easton. Kitsune Rush as well. This is a costly ult. Because now, I mean, sure, they get the team kill, but they don't have enough time to be able to full cap this point. They're going to be able to recontest. I definitely wish Mango would have saved that last Kitsune Rush, because, I mean, look how much time they still have to go. They still have 20 more meters. So unless a random C9 again on the side of Shade, this is a do-or-die fight. Azul walling off targets. Suzu being used. And then now Truth wants to pop Embryo to the backline. They get rid of Easton, and now they just need to get rid of Astro. Now nobody left to contest this point except the single Kiriko, and not going to be able to survive long enough, not going to be able to contest. And all on that, ultimate usage galore. It's going to go to the way of Shade. Series set in stone, set in match. What a turnaround, man. That was definitely a tipsy-turvy match. I mean, I thought Astra was going to be able to win that, and then it went to Shade, and then Shade, and it went back to Astra. Wrong score, by the way. But good stuff to Shade to be able to hold and persevere that whole match.
Yeah, that was an insane ending towards a very amazing, good series. It just came down to who got the better play, in my opinion. But yeah, it was really, really, really well.
All right, but now we must come to the time of MVPs. Obviously, well, and honorable mentions as well. So I'd like to do honorable mentions first. Again, I was really leaning on the side of 6-9 for a majority of that match, but towards the end, Gravelette was really showing their presence both on the objective and just actual kill feed itself. They played an amazing Tracer, amazing Echo as well. So we'll give honorable mention over to my boy Gravelette. And of course, for MVP, who are you thinking, Karma?
Honestly, it was hard for me. It was actually really hard for me because I was seeing so many people do really well. Um, yeah, damn, it's actually super hard for me. Who do you have?
I gave it to my boy Azul. There's been there. It was the talk between Dino and Azul. Of course, Azul was doing amazing work with any of the DPS they played. I mean, they were doing great contesting the point as well on the Tracer. Obviously, I was hoping I'd see more Genji, me being a strict Genji connoisseur myself, but they still did amazing nonetheless. So I'll give MVP over to Azul, and obviously their map win, now improving their series or their overall standings to 3-1. So now they're looking really solid. It's unfortunate for Astra that is their first loss of the season, but on the bright side, they only lost on a 1 map differential, so not too bad in terms of the only -1 on the MD. But overall, still looking really solid throughout the rest of the season. So I'm excited to see how they play throughout the rest of the match.
Karma, and I've had the privilege to be casting with Mr. Leapfrog.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping on the mic with us. I know it's one of your first few times jumping on the mic, so nice to see you taking on the reins, head on. But yeah, catch me this weekend. I'll be commentating some more this week. Tomorrow I got some Tekken. Thursday I got some more Overwatch with SPCS. So follow me on Twitter at the Mr. Leapfrog, and you'll stay up to date with all my stuff. I'm about to post my schedule on Twitter right now, so you know where I'm at. But yeah, this weekend I'll be in again, Lake Jackson, an offline Overwatch event. First time I'm doing one here in Texas, so it'll be exciting. Hope to see you guys there in the stream or there in person. But with that being said, we're going to tune off for the night. Thank you again for everybody watching. I've been Mr. Leapfrog. That's been Karma. Congrats to Shade, and we'll see you all again next time.